which is nice. I've had a few hairy moments there where people would just go, I'm gonna turn to the right. Righty, let's do this. So welcome to another town-bound journey where we're going to be going on dual carriageways. First of all, we need to get past these construction traffic. Okay. So we're now clear through to the national speed limit. To go up to third gear. And then change through into 6. So we're coming on to the Dalkeith bypass. These junctions are an absolute nightmare because they are very, very tight. So when I get down here, it's going to be hard braking because there's no chance to see to the right until the very last moment. And once it's clear, it needs to be a hard acceleration. Or well, it would do if there's traffic behind me, but I'm completely clear. So I'm going to accelerate up to the maximum speed. Now it's just a long straight road. Long straight road, but it's important not to get caught out on this road because, particularly when you come past these hills that are either side of me, about now, on a windy day, you can get slapped with the wind and it's quite easy to just be caught out with it. I'm lucky because my car is relatively heavy, but I have driven a light car down here. And you have to have your steering wheel about 3/4 of the way around just to stay going straight. It's ridiculous. Probably fast forward through this bit really. Coming up to our junction ahead. What I was saying earlier about the junction being really tight presents a problem when you're on the bypass itself. If someone thinks that they've got a gap, this silver car should probably be okay. Let's see. Because it's so tight, if you don't accelerate hard, I'm gonna have to brake hard so I don't hit you, because it's just, you literally join on at about 20 miles an hour and the traffic's coming down here at 60 miles an hour, so it's a big difference. And if one or two people aren't paying attention, you know, it's not good. It's not good. It is quite a bad oversight, but we drivers have to make do with what we got. Something doesn't fall off, we're fine. So, we're now coming up to the junction with the bypass. I'm indicating now because I'm going off to the left, braking for the roundabout. Oh, it's getting louder, great. So, we're now coming up the slip road. You should accelerate so you're joining on at 70 miles an hour. Making sure for traffic, I am clear. So I need to be at that side lane, so I'm just going straight across. brake about here if there's no traffic in my lane. Now I want to be in the rightmost lane, which is clear. I could go across the white line because there's enough room for a gap, but there is an offence in driving called driving out with the bounds of the carriageway or something along those lines, which means I cannot cross that white line unless it's an emergency. So really I shouldn't. I'll miss the lights, but that's no big deal. Some of the places paramedic parked up over there. We'll get a wee view of them as we go around. I used to be scared of this place when I was learning to drive. 6 roads in, 4 lanes wide, 5 at some places. It's just... connects 2 major arteries. And the other thing about this, you've got to be quick. So otherwise people get very, very angry at you. Okay, so I'm just going to stop while I'm paying attention. And I'm clearing. There's the ambulance. It's not someone I know in it. So speaking of ambulances, the reason why it's parked up there, Sheriff Hall is great because it connects Edinburgh, south of Edinburgh, and then you've got the bypass that takes you to the east and the west. And the hospital is on this road in towards town. So this is a major artery for ambulances. For people who watch my emergency services in Scotland, you will recognise this territory as being where most of my ambulance encounters happen. In fact, right here is my first ever emergency service in Scotland video. This is where all the ambulances come, so you always need to be on the lookout for them. Generally speaking, if traffic's flowing well, you don't need to pay that much attention to what's happening behind, because this is a 50-road. Ambulances generally don't go all that fast, so it'll take some. You'll have a lot of warning time if one of them's going to catch up. But in particular, you need to be paying attention for traffic coming ahead, because you're not going to get that much notice of an ambulance coming. But it seems we're nice and quiet. We're down to 40 now, but that's fine because we're limited by traffic anyway. Red light up ahead, so I'm now expecting for the traffic to break. We're now going green, so there is traffic still stopped at the light. Good to go. Now, in my last video, I covered that I was out of the bus lane because the bus lane was in force. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The bus lane is not in effect. Therefore, by law, you must remain in the leftmost lane unless you're turning or overtaking. I'm going straight ahead, so I stay in the leftmost lane. He goes across without indicating, as I expect him to do. And we've gone green. Now cyclists, you always have to give them a nice wide berth, so I'm going to pull well out. It's not an offence to cross over hatch crossings. If it was full white lines, I would not be able to overtake there. I'd need to bide my time until I got to this part, but I can overtake there, although it is generally frowned upon. But getting past a cyclist. Getting past a cyclist safely is better than, you know, doing something that would endanger him or me or whatever, so, yeah. Oh. So once again, I'm going to be in the left once I come across this. I am slightly veering right because there's a huge pothole there. Road knowledge is quite an important aspect of driving. I've been driving for 5 years, I still get really unsettled when I have to drive on roads I'm not unfamiliar with. It's just, you don't know what to look out for. There are, you'll pick it up if you use the same roads time and time again. Like when I used to stay in Edinburgh, there's one road that has 2 lanes going straight across it, but going straight across the junction. But there was this kind of unofficial rule that if you were going straight across, you only stayed in the left lane, because there's always cars parked on the other side of the junction. So even though there is 2 lanes on the other side, you can only fit 1 lane through. So there's this kind of unspoken rule, and you could always tell people who didn't know the area because they would always break the unspoken rule and end up, you know, cars having to go out everywhere. It's just one of those things. I find that amusing. Coming past the hospital now. Box junctions. Oh no, no, don't stop in a box junction. For sure. Nice early indication from that van. Meant I know exactly where it was going, which is nice. I guess one of the things I'm trying to highlight with these videos, it seems such a trivial thing, but you'd be surprised how little people do it. It's just paying attention. There's so much you can learn by just paying attention, and it keeps you safe, it keeps everyone safe. Like with him being so far to the right, it would have been quite easy for me to miss the indication on that van, but I did notice it, so I checked up to make sure he's got enough room to make his turn and things. In the end, it was nice and smooth. And it's like that everywhere you go, and that's kind of what I am aiming to highlight. Because I mean, I'm not a driving instructor. I wouldn't say start watching these videos to pass your test. But once you've started driving, what I want to highlight is just little nuances that you can pick up on that makes your and everyone's journey safer. Whether or not I manage to do that, I don't know. That's what I'm hoping to do. Just stopped up for the bus. It's good practice whenever you stop, but particularly on this road. If you stop, first thing you do is just keep scanning for emergency vehicles, because when you stop, they catch up on you like that. I think most of this journey we're going to be on a major ambulance artery anyway, so yeah. As I've said in a previous videos, one of the things I really want to try and do, I've not had time to make them yet, but is making videos on how to behave around the emergency services, because it's, you know, it's quite an important thing for me that everyone gets by safely. This was a bit sluggish and bare, but fair enough. Now, I am staying in the right-hand lane for 2 reasons. 1, there's a cyclist ahead, which I can see. And 2, I will be turning away. At the end of this junction, I am going to be turning to the right. So I am not going in the left lane, because that's just going to cause problems later on. This traffic, again, road knowledge, these traffic lights are very, very short on the green, so if you're not at the junction when it goes green, get ready to stop, because you're going to miss the lights. You should never try and race lights either, that's a very bad thing. I don't recall I've ever done it, but I've seen it happen quite a lot, and indeed I've put a couple of videos up lately of people chasing lights, and it's an absolute disaster waiting to happen. Right, so we're now green. Now the thing you need to watch in this is you get a lot of people who think that they can go from the left lane into the middle lane, whereas in fact nice. I've had a few hairy moments there where people would just go, I'm gonna turn to the right, and you just can't. Go green again. Now got a red light. I don't think you're going to be able to see that from the cameras, but somebody's obviously hit for the green man, and you've still got to wait. Light's gone red. Sorry, green man has now gone red, and I've been given the green light. So let's go. You'll notice I didn't indicate for that that junction. Some people do. But technically, in that lane, your only option is to turn to the left, which is in effect the straight ahead. If I wanted to turn out of that lane, I would need to indicate. But for normal use, I don't. Now I'm going to indicate left, because I'll be undertaking him. Under normal conditions, you can undertake on British roads. However, if a vehicle is stopped because it's turning right to the right and only to the right, you can. Now that was hard braking for the red light. If you can stop, do. It was a hard brake, but it was safe for me to brake, so I did. I stopped. So I've got the green man. I'm going to be waiting for traffic coming from the right, and then we'll get the green. Now, sirens. Ambulance coming from behind. I don't know what way he's going to try and go. You can get past him the outside, which is fine. Good. We're now green. Now, what was going on in my head there, I was getting prepared. If the traffic was blocking him coming on the opposite side, I was getting prepared to swerve to the left to give him effectively my space on the road to get through. I didn't want to do it because of the cyclist there. I didn't want him to start moving out of the way and then for me to end up clabbering into him. That would be an absolute disaster, which you don't want. So I gave him the time to go around the outside and he managed it, so that's fine. Don't start running. Okay, that's fine. As you start getting towards the centre of town, it's important to always watch out for pedestrians. Some pedestrians have the respect on the roads, others don't. You need to keep a wee watch out for that. So we're green through. We're going to be green again. Now I'm looking for a parking space in the middle of a town. There's a police riot van. Green through again. Now I'm actually going to go in the left lane here. The reason for it is just simply because I am turning left after the lights. I've ran into a lot of trouble before with people because it's only a single lane once you get over here, even though it's two lanes here, so that just 2 into 1 does not go, as the racing commentators always say. See, there you go. That's exactly what I was worried about with the pedestrians earlier, was as soon as they see traffic coming, they start running. And you don't know whether they're going to stop and you start, or what to do. You start second guessing yourself, they start second guessing you, and then that's when disasters happen. Generally, if I see pedestrians on the road, I just maintain constant speed unless it's absolutely obvious that we need to brake. Okay, so I'm going for the early indication because I've got a car behind me. He backed off, which was good of him. Let's look for a parking space. Permit holder. holder, permit holder, permit holder, permit holder. Oh, giddy! There's gonna be lots of spaces. Let's have a look to the left here. Keep clear, permit holder, permit holder. Okay, I was sure I parked here before. Permit holder, permit holder. I'm sure there's pen display here. Oh well, let's go rid of it. Ah, pen display. Excellent. Ha ha ha! Victory. Glorious, glorious victory. So, just reversing in. Check for the white lines to make sure I'm all perfectly within them, and I am. So, let us conclude this journey.